He's a maniac, maniac, I sure know. Hello, I would like to pump you up. This is Bill McAfee. You've been watching these YouTubes this far, so you never know what you're up to. In honor of 2012, we're going to have some fun with this. Starting a new year, I would like to pump you up. Also, I'd like to say is, I'm Bill McAfee. I'm with Untitled, and we do an economic update, and this is through the month of December of 2011. So we're going to compare 2010 to 2011 for the Pikes Peak multiple listing system and just let you know what's going on in the counties of Teller and El Paso mainly, some Douglas, and some Park. So anyway, here we go, my friends. Starting out, we're going to start out with the average sales price. Notice that we're at about 210,000 and change on this. Have been trending down. Not a surprise, I said at the beginning of the year. Right now we're at about 218,000 on a running average. So we're putting that out. Just to let you know, at the beginning of the year I said prices would go down based on the bank-owned stuff coming down, based on what we were seeing with inventory levels being too high, especially in the upper range, and that's happening. Moving on to the next slide, we're going to talk about median sales price. Notice we've been holding steady at about 185,000. Moving on to median sales price, we're still trending down. And again, the bank-owned has been driving this and the excess inventory has been driving this. But I'd like to say, I'd like to pump you up. Look, mwah, mwah. We are seeing some good things. Moving on. Right now, on the number of sales on the previous 12-month running average, notice the number of sales is coming up. And I'm going to predict this to increase, maybe not next year as much, but we will still increase the number of sales. We've got some good things happening. Military is coming back to town. You're going to see jobs increase. We're seeing apartment houses being built across Colorado Springs right now because the rental market is on fire. It's like, whoa, it's incredible what you're going to see out there, okay? So the rental market is fantastic. Going on to the next slide, which is the active listings. Notice that this is more of a range that we should be in on active listings. We are actually coming back down. In fact, we are at about, about 4,200... Excuse me, I got so excited. We're at about 4,200 and some odd listings available right now on a running average. Looking over here, percentage of sales on a running average. If we trailed this back 10 to 15 years, this number would be around 15%. We're up over 16. In fact, we're at 16.4%. In other words, that's a percentage. If we have 100 listings, we're selling 16.4, and that is running above a 10-year running average. That's good news. Moving on to the next. Months of inventory. This is fantastic. I want you to notice right here, right now, across the entire MLS, we're running at 4.67 months. We're going to pump you up. 4.67 months. We haven't seen this since 2006. Here's the deal. You got demand and supply. The supply is starting to dwindle. We got demand picking up. And I'm saying this right now, on the 200,000 and below, if you're a buyer in that price range, you don't want to be a girly girl. You better get it pumped up because you want to be buying. Interest rates are phenomenal. Moving on. I never showed this slide because this was the slide because 1988, what happened was, I'm just putting the number of sales in the MLS, comparing that to the number of foreclosures. We actually had a 90% ratio back in 1988. Notice we peaked out in here in 09, and where we're at now, we're a pinch above 40. Again, just more good news showing we're starting to stable out. I can't say enough about interest rates. Right now, interest rates on the national average on 30-year fixed are 3.96%. You buyers out there, man, we need to bump you up. You got to get in the game, you buyers out there. Don't let these interest rates go by you. Moving on, about 26% of the homes that are selling are above 250,000, about 74% are below. That flip-flop by 2%. And here's the bottom line. We're actually starting to see some of the homes up into that 300,000 to 400,000 range are starting to move, which is changing the percentage. Again, more good news. Looking here, here's the year-end summary. Said at the beginning of the year, I want to bump you up. Don't be sissy girl, get kicked in the face. Here we go. We're down about 4.6 and 4.5% on median and average. I said at the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be down between 4 and 5. Next year, I'm making my prediction for you right now. I think that's probably going to be down a little bit, about maybe 2%. Here's what I'm saying. Below 200,000 will appreciate. If you're a buyer out there, you better man up. So if you're going to be buying out there, get in that market. Interest rates are fantastic. You know, we've got inventory. Actually, inventory levels are dwindling under 200,000. I'm going on to say shortage. Once you hit the 250, we start to soften here. Once you hit above 3 and 4, we will still be softened. We still have too much inventory. But for you sellers and that, we need to get feet. You need to have your property in great condition. Great condition, and it needs to be priced right to get it moved, okay? Looking over here, number of residential units sold. I was shocked at this. It was up 3.5%. Okay, 3.5%, that's like taking this to that. Okay, 3.5% we were up, and that's amazing because last year, remember, we had, if you recall, the $8,000 home buyer credit. Moving here, inventory levels are down. This is fantastic. Again, the number of units for sale are down. Part of that is sellers did bring their home off the market. The other part, the rental market's fantastic. Moving on here, the number of listings was down about 16.1%. This is absolutely fantastic because the people, they got tired of going into foreclosure. Okay, here's what I'm saying. It was down 25.4%. And we've trended down in that. Number of people going into foreclosure has trended down since '09. Looking right here, interest rates are just at phenomenal lows. So what I'd like to say to you for 2012, do not be a sissy girl. Don't get sand kicked in your face. Be a manly man. We want to pump you up. Contact your local real estate agent. Just take advantage of this market. You buyers out there, jump in. Sellers in 200 and below, you're going to see prices come up. If you're in the upper end, as I said, still a lot of inventory. If house is in good condition, price right, you still move it. So here's to a great 2012 and